for our real goals, like things that are meaningful, that changes us and transforms us, I want you guys to understand that you have to be a conservative investor, right? There is a season for aggression, but you can't have an aggressive season quarter over quarter, year over year. It's not sustainable. Eventually, you're going to pick something and you're going to lose everything you invested. The long game is about being a conservative investor. So that means in your health, you don't just drink the water and eat the plants and give up the sugar and the meat and the dairy and all of that for 30 days. I'm just going to go hard for 30 days and I expect to check all my boxes and get all my goals. And I'm going to do it really fast. And if it doesn't happen, I'm just sitting back on my laurels waiting for the next strategy. Your health is a long game. Optimal health is not a privilege, it's a right. However, unfortunately, the overwhelming majority of health challenges today can be attributed to lifestyle. This includes our physical activity, the quality of our relationships, stress, purpose and fulfillment, and of course, our diet. But what if there was an alternative? What if we could prevent and combat these health challenges with lifestyle changes before pills and procedures? You are listening to the Plant Protocol podcast with yours truly, plant-based health and business coach, and now the forever voice in your head, Lisa A. Smith. It's time to come get this health. So not too long ago, I was consulting with someone and she reached out to me for her health and she had some health goals and she really thought she had a strategy issue. So she was really concerned with being able to travel, stay busy. She was an entrepreneur and she was really concerned with being able to stay on task and on goal while she travels. So she had a successful firm, like I said, really traveled a lot for work, but she had these health goals. And so she reached out to me to consult on her health goals and wanted to get some tips on how to stay on task while traveling. Very, very, very common for a lot of us entrepreneurs. And so I said, okay, no problem. I said, do you actually need coaching or do you just need like some tips, some strategies on how to eat out of hotels and how to eat on the go? And she's like, no, I just need some tips and some strategies on how to eat while I'm on the go. And I said, okay, no problem. And so we just decided to do some consulting, which means we weren't going to be working together for weeks or months to help with her health goals. She's like, I know exactly what I need to do. I think I got that part down packed. I just need some assistance with how to eat and stay on task when I'm out and about. And I said, all right, I got you. So during our consulting, I asked her some questions and I had her take an assessment and I was really trying to get to the bottom of what she had going on. And during this short time together, we discovered something that helped us to unveil why it was so challenging for her to stay on task with her health goals. And I discovered that she, like me, was a starter. She was a starter. And so what exactly does that mean? That means that unlike a lot of people in the world, she had no issue with starting something. And when I say starting, I mean starting quickly. And this is me as well. That's why I was able to recognize it in her so quickly. She was a starter. Now, being a starter is absolutely a blessing because like I mentioned, there's so many people who are challenged with starting things. There's so many people who have ideas. There's so many people who have access to resources and information. We have our assignments and our divine downloads. And so we know intellectually the importance of starting stuff. We know the importance of coming out of the gate and getting to it, right? However, so many people struggle with starting, right? It's a fact. So many people struggle with taking that first step, whether it be in your physical health, in your career, in your healing, in your personal development, in your finances, in your relationships. So many of us struggle with taking that first step. So there's a blessing for those of you who are also starters. There is a blessing to being a starter, right? And so I recognize this, I understand it. However, there is also a such thing as an immature starter, and there's a such thing as a mature starter. So if you're someone who's a starter, meaning all you need is instruction and it's go time, right? Just tell me the destination and I'm going to fly the plane, right? That's me. And that was her as well. Just give me the destination and I'm going to fly the plane. I'm going to come out the gate and I'm going to get to it, right? I'm a starter. Okay. But there's an immature starter and there's a mature starter. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to get to where this is going today. An immature starter, when we start, we use up a lot of our energy on the takeoff, which means we fizzle out really quickly. We quit or we burn out before reaching the destination. That's what an immature starter does. That's who I used to be. Like, I start really fast. I'm ready to go. Just tell me what to do. But if I don't master managing my energy properly, I burn out or I fizzle out before I get to the goal. Now, a mature starter has mastered the art of controlling their pace. A mature starter masters the art of controlling their pace. So when I was an immature starter, I used to start quickly because I associated starting quickly with getting to the reward quickly. So an immature starter is not necessarily concerned with starting. They're not necessarily concerned with the journey. They're more concerned with getting to the destination as quickly as possible. While a mature starter is more concerned with mastery. We're more concerned with getting the reps in, and we're actually really eager to take the journey. We're eager in seeing all the sights we're going to pass on the journey. We're eager in enjoying the journey. Okay. That's what I want to talk to you guys about today, which is when I was an immature starter, I was obsessed with the destination. And what that did is it stole a lot of peace. It took away a lot of contentment. It robbed me of a lot of experiences. And for some of you, you're experiencing something very similar. It's very hard for you to appreciate where you are. It's very hard for you to enjoy the journey. It's very hard for you to stay in the moment because you too are obsessed with getting to the rewards of doing the work, right? And so you're like, listen, I'm doing all the things. I'm checking all the boxes. There should be a result by now. There should be something that I should see as a result of the work I feel like I'm putting in. And today I'm going to tell you the 2 words. It was just 2 words, 2 big giant words that I took out of my vocabulary that significantly changed my relationship with my goals. There's 2 words that I took out of my vocabulary that reinstated the peace and the contentment that I now know today. And I think today's message is going to bless a lot of y'all. I started today's conversation by telling you guys that I move fast. I am a starter, right? And being a starter is a quality that a lot of people envy, right? Because when they see you take action, sometimes they look and they say like, why can't I be like that? I want to take action too. Why does it take me so long to start doing things? You know, I'm analysis paralysis. I like to think things through. And so being a starter can be a quality that people envy. But as I mentioned, there's a difference between a mature and an immature starter. And the reason for me in the past that I moved fast was partly because I wanted fast results. I wanted fast results, y'all. So the reason I normally will move fast is not because I'm eager to get on the road and enjoy the journey and enjoy all the sights along the way. But it was mostly because I don't care about these sights. You can leave the windows rolled up. You can put blackout shades on them. I'm not interested in the journey. I'm not interested in becoming a better person. I'm not interested in learning more about myself. I'm interested in what happens when I cross the finish line. That was the immature starter in me. I was only interested in the reward. And so I had to figure out how to stop this cycle of go fast, burn out, be disappointed. Go fast, fizzle out, get disappointed. And I figured out how to do it. I am so excited. I figured out how to do it. I'm about to give y'all the cheat code. Hey, podcast listeners, sorry for the interruption, but I have a quick question for you. Are your cravings running the show when it comes to food? Like, no, really. Are you trying to be strong, trying to exert willpower, trying to make healthier choices, but you find your cravings are winning more often than not? Well, what if I told you it's not your fault, that your brain has been hijacked But I have even better news. Not only is it not your fault, I'm going to teach you how to take your power back. On October 28th, I am hosting a special prep class called Cravings Uncovered: The Science of Salt, Oil, and Sugar Addiction. We'll be pulling back the curtain on how food companies engineer addiction into your favorite foods to keep you hooked. And I'm going to show you how to break free without relying on willpower alone. You're going to learn how to spot hidden salt, oil, and sugar in everyday foods. You're going to discover simple swaps that actually satisfy. And I'm even going to give you a mini reset that'll give you more energy in just a few days. So, this class is your first step to breaking free from all of the cravings that have been ruling you up until now. This class is also the first of 3 prep classes for our very next 30-day vegan, salt, oil, and sugar-free challenge starting on January 1st. We are in challenge season. Get excited, get ready, mark your calendars for October 28th. This is the first prep class out of 3 prep classes to make sure you are ready when we kick this thing off on January 1st. So register now at lisaangelsmith.com/challenge. That's lisaangelsmith.com/challenge. Get registered for the challenge. And if you're registered for the challenge, you're automatically registered for our prep classes. And so you'll get all the details via email, because the sooner you uncover the truth about cravings, the sooner you can take your power back. I'll see you on October 28th. So, guys, the 2 words that I removed from my vocabulary that has completely reintroduced me to peace and contentment in my life is buy now. Somebody say buy now. I've been working so hard, losing weight, exercises, eating right, drinking this water, eating these nasty salads. I should be smaller by now. I've been working my tail off, building this business, coaching people from years, doing speaking programs, like really giving away my time, giving away my gifts, being obedient to God. I should be a multimillionaire by now. I've been working on myself, telling God what I wanted, making a list and checking it twice, becoming the list. I should be blissfully married by now. I have been running full speed ahead towards spiritual development. I've been being honest with God. I've been praying on my knees every night. I've been locking in. I should be completely healed by now. Why? Why do these things still bother me? Why is this weight still on me? Why is this debt still causing me to stay up at night? Like, I should be better, healed, healthy, whole, rich, married, a mother by now. Y'all, by now has robbed me and so many of you of so much peace and contentment for years. Let me tell you something. When I took by now out of my vocabulary, it completely changed my life. Because let me tell you what by now is. By now equals uneducated expectations. When you say, I've been doing your 30-day challenge, Lisa, I've been eating plants every day. I've been drinking the water. I've been saying no to sugar. I took the oil out of my diet. How long it's been? 2 weeks. I just feel like I should be a size 6 by now. I just feel like my number should have dropped further by now. I just feel like I should have been off the medication by now. Where did you get that from? I don't know. How long did it take somebody else to do it? I'm not sure. I just know that they did it. Uneducated expectations. Uneducated expectations. By now equals I have made up a time frame. I made up a finish line. I made up a deadline, and I just decided I should have had it by now. And it's been months, and it's been years, and I'm not there yet. And so it raggles my peace. It disrupts my peace. It disrupts my joy. It disrupts my contentment. But what we should be doing instead is asking God to reveal to us where we're still unprepared. So instead of harping on by now, What we want to start doing is asking God to reveal to us where we're still ill suited, what needs to be enhanced, corrected, or improved upon. Because there's a reason that my buy now hasn't arrived yet. Because let me tell you what buy now does. When you have a spirit of buy now, sometimes when you haven't arrived where you think you should be by now, it causes a little shame. It causes shame. And shame is very hard to live with because it causes you to hide, right? Shame causes you to fall into the background. Shame often causes us to shut down. And so if we don't have a healthy relationship with our expectations and we only operate on uneducated expectations, by now will shut us down. We'll stop the whole show. We'll bring the whole train to a screeching halt because in our minds, things should look different by now. Things should sound different by now. I've been eating these plants every day. Things should taste different by now. We have uneducated expectations. We don't have data by now. We're just sick of working this hard. We're just sick of working this hard. But did you know you don't get what you want just because you're sick of waiting? You don't get what you want just because you're sick of waiting. It don't work like that. You get what you deserve when you're prepared to receive it. You don't get what you want just because you're sick of waiting. Keep doing the squats. Who said you should be smaller by now? Keep running. Keep walking on the treadmill. Keep eating the plants. Keep drinking the water. Keep going to bed at a right time. Keep avoiding the sugar. Keep saying no to the junk. Keep staying out of the fast food lines. Keep turning on your camera and doing content. Keep recording podcast episodes. Keep talking to your audience. Keep selling your products or service. Keep developing your products or service. Keep refining your prices. Keep reviewing your marketing strategies because who said the business was supposed to be there by now? Who said that you were supposed to be at that health status by now? So let me get this straight. Because you have uneducated expectations and you think that it should just be here by now, you just going to stop paying attention to how much fiber you getting to control your blood sugar because you just feel like your A1C should be down by now. Let me get this straight. You just going to stop paying attention to how much saturated fat and cholesterol and processed meat you eat and just going to go back to clogging your arteries because you just feel your blood pressure should have dropped by now. So apparently it ain't working. Let me get this straight. You just going to stop marketing and showing up in your business, refining your coaching programs, doing sales calls just because you just feel like your audience should be bigger, your bank account should be bigger, and your impact should be bigger by now. So let me just get this straight. Never mind the fact the businesses that took 10, 20 years to run up and reach that $1 billion status that you're trying to reach. But because it's been 6 months and you just feel like you've been working hard and you tired and not enough people liking your post and not enough people clicking your link, that forget it. We just going to go back to doing what we were doing. Let me get this straight. You just going to give up on bliss just because y'all done did 10 counseling sessions and it seemed like stuff not changing and you just feel like y'all should have repaired y'all issues that took 15 years for y'all to develop in 10 coaching sessions and 10 counseling sessions by now. So we just going to give up on the whole relationship. Let me get this straight. You just going to stop talking to them. You just going to stop reaching out. You just going to give up on the people you love and the relationships that you say you want to nurture because they not talking back, because they not responding, because they not saying what you think they should be saying by now. Let me just get this straight. Like by now is ruining your life. By now is destroying your peace. By now is taking your contentment out back and stomping it into the ground. Like who told you that? Like what makes you think as long as you alive, you on the journey? Where did you get that from? So I'm going to say this again. You don't get what you want just because you're sick of waiting. That's not how manifestation, that's not how blessings work. That's not how miracles work. That's not how success works. You don't get what you want just because you're sick of waiting. Your buy now is taking you out the game. You've become a slave to buy now. Let me tell you something. I am a quick starter, y'all. And I used to be an immature starter because the only goal was to get the result. And if I'm running real fast and if I'm working real hard because I haven't managed controlling my energy, and my energetic capacity, and I don't get what I need before I run out of fuel, I just used to be like, well, forget it then, because I should be somewhere different by now. I was an immature starter. But what we should be doing is asking God to reveal to us where we're still unprepared, where we're ill suited, what needs to be enhanced, improved, or corrected. But because your buy now has not arrived yet, that is not an invitation to quit, give up, and go back to your old habits that cause a dysfunction that you're trying to climb yourself out of. Buy now is taking us out of the game. Okay. And so I just want all of you guys to understand one main thing, right? I told you we don't get what we want just because we're sick of waiting. But I want you to understand that the journey required everything that is hard to come by, that isn't easy for us, is a long game. You know, in Farm to Table, our plant-based coaching program, I have this lesson that I teach at the end of the semester where I compare health to investing in the stock market. And I compare health to being a conservative, versus an aggressive investor. When you're an aggressive investor in the stock market, you pick companies and you pick stocks and you pick EFTs based on how quickly you think you can get a return. When you're an aggressive investor, your only goal is to make money quickly, right? And so you don't necessarily pick the conservative stocks that have proven to deliver results over time. When you're an aggressive investor, you try and pick stocks that you think are going to do really well really quickly, right? And while it might not be long lasting, you can get a quick buck pretty fast, right? But for our real goals, like things that are meaningful, that changes us and transforms us, I want you guys to understand that you have to be a conservative investor, right? There is a season for aggression, but you can't have an aggressive season quarter over quarter, year over year. It's not sustainable. Eventually, you're going to pick something and you're going to lose everything you invested. The long game is about being a conservative investor. So that means in your health, you don't just drink the water and eat the plants and give up the sugar and the meat and the dairy and all of that for 30 days. I'm just going to go hard for 30 days and I expect to check all my boxes and get all my goals. And I'm going to do it really fast. And if it doesn't happen, I'm just sitting back on my laurels waiting for the next strategy. Your health is a long game. Reversing chronic stress is a long game. Losing the weight is a long game. Climbing out of debt is a long game. Creating, launching, and running a business that you can potentially hand down to your family or that becomes an asset and transforms hundreds and thousands of lives is a long game. It's not just about one big launch. And if that launch doesn't go well, you just abandon your whole business. This is a long game. Healing from disappointment is a long game. Healing from loss is a long game. You have to be a conservative investor in your life. You can't be aggressive. If you're a quick starter, but you're an immature starter and you're only looking for the result, your buy now is going to crush you. And let me give you one final message. And this is a big one, because for a lot of us, it's our buy now that is destroying and causing us to be double-minded. Like we want to do the work, but we're also focused on the result. We want to do the work, but we're also scoreboard watching. So we are causing a lot of pain and suffering in our own minds for a lot of us. However, I want to give you another perspective on buy now before we wrap up today. And that is, some of us are not just victims of our own buy now. A lot of us are also victims of other people's buy now. Right? So this is a warning to not become a victim of other people's buy now, because they also have unexpected expectations. So these are these people in your life that you talk to, that you run into, and they say things like, oh, I thought you would have been over that by now. Dang, how long you been on that diet? How long you been working with your coach? How long you been in that community? I just thought you would look different by now. Oh, I thought you still getting that degree. You still getting that certificate. I just thought you would have graduated by now. I just thought you would have been promoted by now. Oh, I just thought you would have been making more by now. I thought you would have been able to finish these repairs on your house by now. I just thought you would have fixed that By now, dang, you not married yet. Shout out to Thanksgiving dinner, right? You not married yet. You don't have kids yet. Dang, I just thought you would have found somebody by now. Like, dang, you still doing that? You still making that silly mistake? I just thought you would have known better by now. Be very careful with freeing yourself from your own by now, but then becoming victims of somebody else's by now. Don't let your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your spouse, your sister, your teacher, nobody else anchor you to their by now, what they thought you should have done by now. Like I'm telling you right now, our peace is disrupted by nows. None of us have a realistic, educated expectation of what we should expect and by what time frame, but we all have these expectations of what we should expect by what time frame. And because none of us are educated on a proper time frame and the time that it should actually take, we are suffering at the hands of our by now or somebody else's by now. Don't let those people tell you what should have occurred by now. There are people still going back to school in their 50s and 60s. There's people that are starting businesses in their 70s. There are people who are deciding, I'm not going to be on this medication after 20 years. There are people who are deciding, I know it's been a while. I know I've been disobedient, but I'm ready to write my book now. There are people who are starting and doing things later than what we are normally, and that's okay. There are people who are not getting married to their 40s, 50s, 60s. There are women who aren't having children until their late 40s. Delete the by now. It's killing you. It's holding you hostage. So don't be a victim of your by now, and be careful with being a victim of somebody else's by now. Don't let the world, don't let culture, don't let anyone tell you, doggone it, it's not to. I don't care if you've been at that company for 25 years, you got seniority, you got tenure, you got a retirement package, you have a pension waiting on you. You can still coach. You can still be a speaker. You can still start a business. You can still write children's books. You can still do tax consulting. You can still do whatever you want to do. It is not too late. If I wanted to do it, I should have done it by now. Not true. So the takeaway, there's two takeaways. The first one I already gave you. Just because you're sick of waiting doesn't mean that you automatically get what you want. Being sick of waiting is not a prerequisite for getting what you want. You don't just get what you want because you're sick of waiting. That's the first takeaway. And here's the other one you guys need to get in your spirit. All right. There is no time limit on faith, and there is no time limit on our trust in God. Okay. There's no time limit on faith, and there's no time limit on our trust in God, which means you will continue to have faith. You will continue to trust God. There's not a time. It's not like, oh, I'm going to trust God for 6 months. I'm going to trust God for 18 months. I'm going to trust God for 3 years. And if I ain't met my match by then, then I'm just going to decide to settle for loneliness and decide that I'm not good enough, or God forbid, just settle for somebody who was not my standard. There is no time limit on faith. There is no time limit on trust. Your job is just to have it. Your job is just to have faith. Your job is just to trust God. There is no time limit. Like if you wake up one day and you are all consumed by nows, that means your faith and your trust is in question. Do you guys know I've been in business 10 years? Do you know how long I let by nows cloud my judgment, keep me up at night? I just feel like we should be further along by now. People start their businesses and they got these big platforms and they have, these multi-million-dollar revenues within 2-3 years, and holding yourself to somebody else's by now standard. Be very careful with that. So you don't get what you want just because you're sick of waiting. That's takeaway number one. And takeaway number two is there is no time limit, i.e., there is no expiration date on faith and trust in God. Melissa has a great question. Coach Lisa, are there more positive words we can use of? Absolutely. The first thing I would say is gratitude. So one of the things that I do, because we all struggle with this, right? And even though I'm super conscious of it now, like I can still catch myself on the thinking that by now language, right? And so what I like to do is briefly do a run through anytime by now starts to creep up and clog my thoughts and maybe cause me to get in my feelings. What I like to do is start thinking of the things that I have accomplished up until that point that I'm super grateful for, that I know I've been taking lightly. Right. And so when I think about business, for example, Melissa, let me give you an example. So running a coaching company, we've been doing it for a decade. And sometimes, I'm so focused on where I want us to be that I completely disregard where we are. And so I have to look and say, okay, here's what you have done. Right. And here's how far you have come. And here's the things that you have learned along the way in business. And here's the accomplishments you've made, right? And so sometimes we get wins and then, I know I do this. Let me just speak for myself. I'll get a win, I'll celebrate it, and then I'll completely pack it up and put it in the attic and forget about it, right? So earlier this year when I told you guys, I think it was March of this year, I announced that we had signed a partnership deal with ET, my coach, Eric Thomas and Associates. And it was a big deal for a split second. And then I completely was just went back to my day-to-day routine. And so it's things like that where I have to bring those back up because it's so easy for our buy nows to stay present in our mind, but then it can be so challenging for our wins, our accomplishments, and our milestones to keep those present, right? And so instead of I should have this by now, what have I done up until this point has really been helpful. Reviewing the wins, the accomplishments, and the growth just as much as I review the desires, the goals, and the things I want to see come to fruition. So I want to give you language though, like you asked. I want to answer the question directly. I'm going to try and think of what I was thinking of earlier because I did have a phrase that I thought of earlier and I should have wrote it down when I thought of it. And then hopefully it'll come back to me, Melissa. But what it sums up to is definitely reviewing what I've done and not getting caught up on the where I think I should be, which again is usually a completely uneducated expectation. Is just that we want everything right now. And because we live in a society where we can get so many things so quickly, we can get so many things so much quicker today than we've historically been able to get them, then we become disillusioned to how long some things still take. So I could think about health, for example, of course, with the advent of things like Ozempic and GLP-1s and people just injecting themselves for weight loss, for example, it can be so confusing to try and eat right and change your lifestyle and do all those things and have to wait for the result. And we all know the benefit of taking the long way and we know the benefits of not taking shortcuts, but that doesn't deter us from thinking buy now. Same thing with business, right? It's so easy to watch other people in business and compare ourselves and get caught up in that loop. And we don't realize that the companies that we buy from, the companies that we support and endorse with our business have been around for decades, right? These brands that we admire, many of them have been around forever. And we sometimes just get disillusioned thinking, okay, I've been trying to do this thing for a year or two, or even 3 years, and I just feel like I should be somewhere else by now. But I'll tell you one thing that really helps too. When I say uneducated expectations, a way to educate your expectations is to really go listen and get knee deep in origin stories. So Melissa, when it comes to business, for example, I like to listen to a podcast called How I Built This. And it is entrepreneurs telling their origin story on how they got started, all their ups and downs, all the things they had to go through to get to where they are today. And when you listen to the founders of these big brands, like we just listened to an episode recently on the founder of Crumble. I didn't even know Crumble had been around as long as they had, because I had only heard about them in the past 2 years, but they have been around much longer than that. And I'm like, what? But they were in those early stages developing and building, right? And so when I listen to origin stories like Crumble and Insomnia Cookies and Airbnb and Uber and listen to all these origin stories, you realize that business really is a conservative long game, right? Same thing with health. And so I think it's important to recognize that buy now is typically an uneducated expectation, but then how can I go educate my expectations to get a realistic idea of what I should be expecting and waiting on? Because in most cases, we're exactly where we're supposed to be. We're exactly where we're supposed to be. So that was a super long answer, but I hope that was helpful, Melissa. Dr. Andrea says, I choose to enjoy every step of this journey. What a beautiful choice of words, because choose is so right. Like you could literally get in the vehicle, whatever your vehicle is, a bicycle, an airplane, a moped, a car, a truck, and you can decide to just lock in, keep your eyes forward, and just plow towards the goal, put your foot on the gas, and don't let up until you get to the goal. Or you can enjoy the journey and who you're becoming along the way. You can bring people with you. You know, one of the things I'm most proud about as we prepare to launch Clarity and open up the doors for Clarity, our new all-in-one community. So those of you who don't know, and we'll be talking about this next week. Actually, I'm bringing my team on next week. So I'm going to be joined next Monday with my entire team. But one of the things I'm really proud about is that I have a team that I've developed. Like when I say developed, I mean they all came from our coaching programs, and now they are working alongside me in our community, Clarity. Clarity is our community that's dedicated to optimizing physical health and eliminating chronic stress. And Clarity is where all of our programs and all of our things are going to be housed going forward. So our Farm to Table plant-based coaching program, our plant-based coaching accelerator and certification, our coaching business accelerator, and all of our signature and proprietary programming about how to eliminate chronic stress, how to use a plant-based diet to optimize your health. That's all going to be under one umbrella now, which is Clarity. But for the first time, you know, I'm launching something with a team first, as opposed to launching it and training people on how to run the program, the community. And I'm really proud of that because on this journey, as I'm growing as a leader, I've had the opportunity to help other people become leaders within our space and within our company. And that's my version of rolling down the windows and enjoying the journey, right? Who can I bring with me? You know, paying attention to who's in my programs, who's getting trained by me, and who's ready to go to the next level, and how can I assist them personally on their journey to doing that. That's my version of enjoying the journey. Is being able to look up 10 more years from now and say, here are the people that have benefited from the result of me being a great leader. And so choosing to enjoy the journey is such a big deal. And my entire Clarity team will be, well, not the entire team, but 3 of our Clarity coaches will be on with me live next week. So you guys look forward to a great conversation because it's always a good time with Carmel, Milan, and Regina. Malika says, this was great. Any suggestions on how to patiently wait until the prayer or expected ends are met? Yes. Okay. You know, I have a podcast episode. I'll have to see what number it is, Malika, because it's a ways back where I talked about getting good at waiting. That's what the whole episode was about. And I remember it distinctly because I recorded it from a hotel room while I was on the road. And I think it's called Winning at Waiting, How to Win at Waiting. Malika. And so I'll have to see if we can find that podcast episode, How to Win at Wait. But any suggestions on how to patiently wait until the prayer or expected ends are met? Okay, Malika, so you know me very well, right? And you know my concept of radical obedience that I teach. And so the truth of the matter is when you're waiting, you're not really waiting if you're being radically obedient, right? You're actively working on the assignment. So for me, for example, like I know where I want our company to go to. I know the impact I want us to have. I know I want us to make Black history as a company, but I'm not like sitting around, obviously, right, waiting for us to make Black history. I'm actively getting up every day as often as I can to pour into other people and to improve their health, right? To improve their mindset so that they too can live a life of radical obedience. So the thing that I'm doing as I waiting for the thing to come to fruition is mastery, right? So how do I get better at what I'm doing whilst doing it is one of the things that has been invaluable for me because by the time I get an opportunity, I'm a master, right? And so I just got an opportunity last week to be on a podcast, a pretty big podcast. It's really popular, millions of listeners. And when I got the opportunity to be on that podcast, surprisingly, one of the things I said when I was driving to the studio was, I really want this story to be, I'm having a moment where I can't believe I'm here. But I have to be honest with myself and say, I don't feel that because this was the expectation because I just spent the last several years refining my skill sets and becoming a master at my craft and at my subject matter. And so the mastery was what I did and what I developed while waiting. And so when I got an opportunity that I'm really proud of and grateful for, I also didn't have that, oh my God moment because it was just mastering. It's like, yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense for the next step in the journey because I've just been refining and refining and refining and honoring my belief that repetition is the cheat code to mastery. So I would say, as we're waiting, remember preparation happens in the wait. And are we refining our skill set, refining our subject matter, and winning at waiting, right? Because it's not really winning, it's just continuing to work to become better because we don't know what we're waiting for if we're being honest with ourselves. Guys, if you haven't already, click the link here that's pinned to get your clarity score. This is where a short assessment takes 90 seconds, where we assess where you are with overwhelm and potential burnout and chronic stress. And then I am so like the amount of thrill I have in my spirit for the announcements that we are making in the coming months about what we're about to be doing in clarity. So if you are like, Lisa, I need to optimize my physical health. I got brain fog. I'm not thinking clearly. I'm not moving good. Got inflammation in my body. My numbers are erratic. My weight is erratic. My eating habits are erratic. I fuel up with dirty energy. I need help. If you need help from the neck down, you need to be in clarity. And then if you're like, I'm suffering from burnout, I'm dealing with stress, I haven't mastered emotional intelligence, so I make a lot of decisions when I'm in my feelings. I am really unaware of how to get out of my current stressful situation. I know I'm in it. I know it's doing damage to my body and my mind, but I don't know where to go from here. If you are suffering from the neck up, you need to be in clarity. We start with your physical health, and then we teach you our proprietary strategies for eliminating and not managing chronic stress. And from there, those are the first two steps: physical health, eliminate chronic stress. And from there, we help you to align your life by living a life of radical obedience, doing what you're being called to do despite the presence of fear and uncertainty. So we get rid of all of that stuff, right? We get you optimized physically, we get you unstressed, and then we help you live a life of radical obedience. And so we do that all in clarity. And so to start that process, the doors aren't open yet. We're working with a beta group right now. We're going to be opening the doors for the wider group of you guys in the coming months. There are some phenomenal things we got coming down the pike with clarity. And so if you want to get on that wait list, just make sure you've taken our stress assessment by clicking the link and get your clarity score, and that'll put you on the wait list. The wait list has been filling up, which we're super excited about. And we had over 100 people take the assessment last month, which is super dope. So keep getting self-awareness. The point of these assessments and things and these conversations is for self-awareness. Sometimes we don't know how deep we've dug ourselves into a hole because we've normalized being unwell. We've normalized being overwhelmed. We've normalized being burnt out, stressed out, and we don't understand the severity of what we're experiencing. And so the point of these conversations and these assessments is to have you take a closer look at where you are. Okay, so I think that's the takeaways. I appreciate you guys hopping on this holiday, and I hope today blessed you. I really encourage you to take buy now out of your vocabulary. If it's causing you disruption in your peace and your contentment, then that'll be a great place to start. So go educate your expectations so you can use better language and have a more realistic idea of when you should have what. Until next time, bye y'all. You tuned in today because, like me, you refuse to let your good become the enemy of your great. You're not settling for good health when optimal is well within reach. If you're ready to go from good to great, visit lisaangelsmith.com to learn more about our plant-based health coaching program, Farm to Table, and our plant-based business accelerator and coaching certification. But before you go, if you enjoyed what you heard today, please consider rating and reviewing this podcast. Until next time, remember, radical obedience is still undefeated. Stay obedient.